Caught my wife with another man. I told his wife I was sharing on our/marriage, check post history, but moved over here because clearly my marriage is a sham and at this point it makes more sense to share here for now. First thing this morning, I went over to his house. She was there, but he wasn't. It worked out better this way because it gave me a chance to talk to her without him there to deny it. When I got there, he wasn't home, but she was. When I told her, at first, she didn't believe me. She kept saying I had the wrong guy, but then I showed her the texts, the photos, everything. You could see the devastation hit her like a ton of bricks. She was completely blindsided. I apologized, told her I wish I didn't have to be the one to tell her, but I thought she had a right to know. She thanked me and I gave her my number in case she wanted to talk or needed anything. They've only been married for a year. No kids. When I got home, my wife was furious with me. Apparently, the wife called her husband, and he called mine to tell her what I'd done. My wife was angry, not about the mess she caused, but because I'd outed her affair. I couldn't believe it. She was more worried about her affair partner's reaction than what she had done to me. And then it got worse. This guy, this man who destroyed both of our marriages, had the nerve to come to my house, banging on my door like a lunatic. I opened it, trying to stay calm, but I was fuming. He started yelling, accusing me of ruining his marriage. The sheer audacity. I told him to get off my property, that if he wanted to blame someone, he should look at himself and my wife, not me. He was yelling obscenities at me. I didn't want to get physical with him. I turned to my wife and said, "You brought this trash into our lives, get him off my front porch," and started to go back inside. She tried to get him to leave, but that's when things took a turn. He grabbed her arm, shoved her, and she fell. At that moment, something snapped inside me. I'm not a violent man, but seeing him put his hands on her, in spite of everything, sent me over the edge. I restrained him, warned him that if he ever set foot near my house or touched my wife again, I'd call the police. He panicked and left. Before I went back inside, I turned to my wife and asked, "This is the man you chose over me? I will never forgive you for the position you've put me in." She just stood there, staring at me in shock. For the first time since this nightmare started, I saw it on her face, like it had finally hit her. The damage, the betrayal, the mess she'd made. She collapsed on the ground, sobbing. I still can't wrap my head around how she destroyed our lives for that guy. I've asked her to leave the house, but she refuses. I can't stand being in her presence, so I'm considering staying at my close friend's place for a while. I am meeting him tonight for a drink to tell him everything.